Well, good afternoon, everyone, and as always, thank you all for joining me. We are going to get right into this. Of course, I will be leaving links in the description box below. Again, this is out of Breitbart News, where I'm sure many of you have probably just seen Governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, wrap up his daily press briefing there, where the headline here reads, World Health Organization warnings, too little too late on the coronavirus pandemic. Well, of course, it's too little too late right now because they were the main ones that should have informed us a long time ago of this. That way President Trump could have had stepped up and done something much sooner. But once President Trump finally stepped in and did something like especially close the borders between the United States and China, stopping off flights or whatever, leftist media started running with it and going crazy and trying to spin everything, including everyone else that absolutely has a profound hatred for President Trump when he did so. Again, many others were trying to spin his words as racist when he even referred to the virus as the Chinese virus. And reality is, when you think about it, it came from China, okay, guys? I mean, there's just no denying that, okay? It started in Wuhan, China, and then it made its way here or whatever. President Trump decided to stop all flights in and from China or whatever, and everybody went absolutely crazy, guys. But it's just absolutely ridiculous. With the amounts of criticism he continues to take by the leftist media and how they try to spin everything he says and does, and it just doesn't make any sense at all, guys. But let me not get off topic here. The article here reads, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo today said during his daily press briefing that he agreed with President Donald Trump's criticism of the World Health Organization. Well, I understand why as well, because it's their job to, as I've said, to have warned the people wherever it may have been, coming from or going or whatever the case may be. But here the article further reads, whose job is it to warn us of these global pandemics? He asked. But he went on to state, the president says the World Health Organization, and that's why he's taking action against them. Not my field, but he's right to ask the question because this was too little too late, exactly. But the article further reads here, Cuomo urged all New Yorkers to continue learning how to fight the virus, warning that the coronavirus and other viruses will continue to return. He also said that the United States would have to prepare for the next pandemic. Of course, that's one thing that I know many of us are trying not to really think about. We've been through many other pandemics before, as I've said. We've been through Ebola, which came from Africa. We've been through the swine flu, H1N1, or whatever you want to call it. I think that came from Mexico or whatever. And we've been through Spanish flu, and of course, I bet only then nobody was screaming racism then when they referred to that pandemic in the 1920s or 1930s or whatever as the Spanish flu. You see what I'm saying? But President Trump refers to this virus as the Chinese virus, COVID-19, and the media just absolutely went ham, and everybody started criticizing him of, being racist or whatever because he called it the Chinese virus, as many of you remember. But moving on, guys, this is what Andrew Cuomo had to state, he absolutely agrees with President Trump's criticism of the World Health Organization because it is their job to have warned us about this. But unfortunately now it's, in Cuomo's own words, too little too late, guys. And, again, all we can really do is just do our part to better prepare for this, guys, as we don't know what's going to happen. Now, as many of you may know, our own governor here as well has just extended the stay-at-home order. However, though, toward the end of the month, toward April 30th, they're going to lift some of those restrictions. They're going to reopen public parks to the public or whatever. But still, again, urging everybody to keep their distance, guys. But again, I will be leaving links in the description below where you can read further into this yourself, guys. Let me see, what else do we have here? Again, creepy, sleepy Joe Biden at it again, guys. I think it was just yesterday where he stated during a live stream he was doing, where the headline here reads, Joe Biden, Trump will come up with plan to kick back election. This should be pretty interesting. Let me see, what do we have here? There's nothing Joe Biden will not be willing to say, guys, to try to get attention. But I mean, it's no surprise for someone, who suffers from dementia. Again, as I've stated and others have said, half the time he doesn't even remember where he is or anything like that. But moving on, guys. The article here reads, former Vice President Joe Biden, the presumptive Democrat presidential nominee, speculated during a Thursday virtual fundraiser that President Donald Trump will attempt to delay the election in November. Now, guys, do you think that President Trump will actually do something like that? I myself have heard a lot of mixed reaction, that some have stated that, will, he canceled the November election or whatever, or, what's going to happen come November? I mean, they didn't cancel early voting, while this was all taking place. But again, moving on, where he went on to state here, Biden, his own words, went on to state, mark my words, I think he's going to kick back the election somehow, come up with some rationale as to why it can't be held, or something from what Biden went on to state during this event. But of course, moving on, guys, the article further reads, imagine threatening not to find the post office. Now what in God's name is that about? He added, then trying to let the word out that he's going to do all that he can to make it very hard for people to vote. That's the only way he thinks he can possibly win. Well, of course, there's absolutely no doubt about it that President Trump is going to destroy Biden by a massive landslide, and there's no doubt about it in my opinion. I think Biden absolutely knows it, guys, and that's why he's looking for some kind of a way out or some kind of an excuse. You know what I'm saying, guys? But you just cannot make any of this up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, this is the Democrats for crying out loud, man. I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi just recently, where she was in her kitchen in her multi-million something dollar mansion, and in front of her huge stainless steel refrigerators, and bragging about her ice cream. I mean, come on now, man. You guys cannot make this stuff up. While the Democrats were at home doing absolutely nothing, President Trump is working to try to get this pandemic solved any way possible by getting these stimulus checks out here to small businesses and to others who are suffering right now because of this, pandemic, guys. But you cannot, I mean, oh boy. Cannot make this stuff up, guys. Let me see, what do we have here in regards to, what is this? Oh, this is a good one, guys. This is in regards to, it looks like President Trump's remarks on the injections over the coronavirus headlines here. Definitely not going to want to miss this one, where the headline here reads, White House blasts establishment media for bleach injection coronavirus headlines. Well, of course, that's no surprise. Again, that's how the fake news media works, guys. They're the reason behind all this, panic buying and all that stuff. It's no secret, guys. Causing everybody to panic and go crazy in the local grocery stores and whatever else. But moving on, guys, where the article here reads, excuse me, one second. Where the article here reads, the White House on Friday criticized the establishment media for running misleading stories about the president's speculating on injecting bleach to kill the coronavirus. That's correct, guys. The establishment media, I call them the fake news media, just like others do, and just like President Trump himself. Where the article reads, leave it to the media to irresponsibly take President Trump out of context and run with negative headlines. The White House press secretary, Kaylin McEnany, excuse me, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her last name right now, said in a statement, I know her first name is Kaylin again, but of course, the article is going to be left here where you can read further into this yourself. But the president never used the words bleach. Of course, as others have stated, he never used the words Lysol either, but I guess Lysol, since they are a disinfectant, they took it out of context or whatever and felt the need to release a statement themselves about that. But of course, moving on, where the article further reads, the White House said the president has always said any discussions of treatments should be discussed with doctors. Of course, well, we know that he has been doing his part to discuss things with doctors An individual even stated as well that researchers and scientists are looking at cures using these disinfectants and see how can they work to cure the virus in any way. They're not suggesting to inject, for anybody to inject this into their system or whatever. But of course, again, leave it up to fake news media, guys. But the article here further reads, the two exchanges the president had with acting Undersecretary of Science and Technology of the Department of Homeland Security, Bill Bryan, and ABC News White House correspondent John Carl. Again, guys, where I'm going to cut this a little short, but it goes on to read pretty much here what everything President Trump went on to state. But for the sake of time, we're going to cut this video a little short, guys. But for those of you, again, watching, please do feel free to subscribe and be sure to hit that little bell so whenever a video is uploaded, you will be notified if we happen to have any more news or breaking news. We will do our very best to bring that to you guys. But with that being said, again, everyone, God bless you all, and please do stay tuned.